Namo, Amitābha Buddha. My dear friends, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Tell me, have you ever turned off the lights, laid your head on the pillow, and still felt like your mind refused to rest? Your body is tired, but your thoughts keep replaying the day. Something you said, something you didn't say, a look on someone's face, a quiet worry about tomorrow. It's late. The house is finally quiet, and yet inside there's a restlessness you can't quite explain. So many people in this country live like this, working hard, taking care of family, trying to be strong, trying to do the right thing. And still at night, the heart feels unsettled, as if it hasn't been given permission to rest. What if the reason you can't sleep isn't because you're doing something wrong, but because your mind has been carrying too much for too long? Tonight, I want to share a gentle teaching from the Buddha. Not something to force you to change, not something to fix your life, just a simple way to let your heart feel safe again. To set down what was never meant to be carried into the night. So take a slow breath, and let's begin together to set down what was never meant to be carried into the night. And yet, for so many people, the moment the lights go out is when the weight becomes heaviest. You lie there staring into the darkness, and it feels as if your mind is still standing in a crowded room. Voices echo, opinions linger, expectations hover, even though no one else is there. The day may be over, but something inside you is still working overtime. You replay conversations in your head. You wonder if you sounded foolish, if you were kind enough, if you were strong enough, if you disappointed someone without realizing it. Your chest tightens just a little. Your breath becomes shallow without you noticing. And even in the quiet of your bedroom, your heart does not feel like it belongs to you. This is what it feels like when the mind has learned to live outside itself. Many people in this country know this feeling well. The pressure to show up, to perform, to be productive, to be agreeable, to hold everything together without letting anything show. You wake up early. You drive through traffic. You answer emails. You take care of children, parents, co-workers, clients. You smile at the right moments. You say I'm fine even when something inside you feels worn thin, and slowly, without realizing it, your inner life becomes shaped by the world's demands instead of your own needs. At night, when there is finally no one asking anything from you, the mind doesn't know how to stop, because it has been trained to listen outward for so long. Some people describe this feeling as restlessness. Others call it anxiety. Some just say I'm tired, but I can't sleep. But beneath all of those words, there is a quieter truth. The mind has wandered so far into other people's expectations that it no longer knows how to come home. You may notice it in small ways. The way you check your phone one last time, just in case. The way you brace yourself when you think about tomorrow. The way your jaw stays clenched, even when your body is lying still. It's as if part of you is always standing guard, always watching, always adjusting, always trying to be acceptable, even now. In Buddhist teachings, there is a gentle understanding of this kind of suffering, not a judgment, not a criticism, just a clear seeing. The Buddha spoke about how the mind becomes unsettled when it reaches outward for reassurance, when it ties its sense of safety to approval, praise, or belonging, when it quietly asks the world again and again, "Am I okay like this?" Each time that question goes unanswered, the heart tightens a little more. Over time, this tightening becomes familiar, so familiar that we forget it is there, until night comes, until the noise fades, until there is nothing left to distract us from what we have been carrying all day. This is why sleep can feel so elusive, not because you are broken, not because you are failing at rest, but because the mind has been living in reaction mode for too long, always leaning outward, always measuring itself, always adjusting to fit. There is a story many people share quietly, almost with embarrassment. They say, "I don't even know what I want anymore," or "I don't know who I am when no one is watching." That confusion is not a flaw. It is a sign of how much effort you have given. It is the mark of someone who has tried very hard to be good, to be useful, to be worthy. And yet, the heart was never meant to live on borrowed approval. It was never meant to rest only when the world is satisfied. When the mind belongs everywhere else, it cannot belong to you. And when it does not belong to you, it cannot rest. You might feel this as a quiet sadness, or a dull pressure behind the eyes, or a sense that something important has been overlooked, though you cannot name what it is. Sometimes in the stillness of the night, a memory surfaces, a younger version of yourself, a time when your laugh came easily, when your choices felt simpler, when your body didn't feel low, like it had to brace itself all the time. That memory is not there to make you feel regret. It is there to remind you of something essential. Your mind knows how to be at ease. It has simply forgotten the way back. In Buddhist philosophy, this forgetting is not a personal failure. It is a natural consequence of living in a world full of noise, speed, and expectation. The Buddha taught that suffering often begins when we cling to images of who we should be, when we hold tightly to how we appear in the eyes of others. When the mind confuses external approval with inner safety, this clinging does not shout. It whispers. It whispers in the way you hesitate before speaking your truth, in the way you say yes when your body wants to say no, in the way you keep pushing yourself even when you are exhausted. At night, those whispers grow louder because the mind finally has space to be heard. And here is the quiet truth that brings relief. You are not restless because you are weak. You are restless because you have been strong for too long. Strong in ways that required you to leave yourself behind. Tonight, we are not trying to fix that all at once. There is nothing to force, nothing to conquer. We are simply beginning by noticing. Noticing how it feels when the mind has been living outside the body. Noticing the gentle ache of wanting to rest but not knowing how. This noticing is already the first step home. And as we continue, very slowly, we will explore how to invite the mind back, how to let it settle, how to offer it a place of safety that does not depend on anyone else's approval. For now, just allow yourself to recognize this truth. If your mind feels tired tonight, it is because it has been carrying more than it was meant to carry. And that means there is nothing wrong with you at all. If your mind has been carrying more than it was meant to carry, it makes sense that it would feel tired. And often, the heaviest part of that weight comes from a very human place. The quiet wish to be loved. You can feel it in subtle moments. The pause before you send a message, rereading it to make sure it sounds right. The way your shoulders tense when you sense someone's disappointment. The small adjustment you make to your tone, your opinion, even your silence just to keep the peace. None of this feels dramatic. It feels ordinary, responsible, kind even. And yet, night after night, the body lies down while the mind keeps reaching outward, still asking the same question. Was I enough today? This reaching is exhausting, not because love is wrong, but because of how the mind goes about seeking it in the soft glow of bedside lamps and streetlights filtering through curtains. Many people notice the same pattern. The day ends, but the mind keeps scanning. It reviews faces. It replays words. It imagines reactions that may never come. You may notice a faint pressure behind your forehead, a subtle tightness in the throat. The breath no longer flows all the way down to the belly. These are not just emotions. They are signals. In Buddhist understanding, the Buddha spoke gently about this kind of fatigue. He did not call it weakness. He called it clinging. Clinging does not always look dramatic. Often, it looks like trying. trying to be liked, trying to be appreciated, trying to be seen as good, capable, worthy. The mind quietly attaches its sense of safety to the responses of others. A smile feels like relief. Silence feels like danger. Praise lifts the chest. Criticism sinks it. Over time, the heart becomes trained to rise and fall with these signals. Imagine a small boat tied to many moving docks at once. Every shift pulls it in a different direction. The water may be calm, but the boat never rests. This is what happens inside when the desire to be loved becomes a constant grasping. The Buddha taught that this grasping begins with a simple moment. A feeling arises, pleasant or unpleasant. Then the mind leans toward it. I want more of this. I want less of that. When the feeling involves approval or rejection, the leaning becomes very strong. The mind starts building stories. If they like me, I'm safe. If they don't, something is wrong with me. These stories repeat so often that they feel like truth. But notice what happens in the body when you believe them. The jaw tightens. The stomach knots. The breath becomes shallow. Sleep becomes light and fragile. The heart never fully settles because it is always waiting for the next signal. This is why wanting to be loved when mixed with fear creates so much fatigue. Love itself is gentle. Fear is heavy. When love turns into a condition for feeling okay, the mind never rests. Some people remember a moment when this pattern became clear. Perhaps it was late at night, sitting alone in the kitchen after everyone else had gone to bed. The house quiet, the hum of the refrigerator steady, and suddenly a wave of sadness appeared without warning. Not tied to any one event, just the realization of how hard you've been trying to be everything, trying not to disappoint, trying to hold on to harmony, even at your own expense. In that stillness, the truth can surface. The mind is tired because it has been negotiating its worth all day. In Buddhist teachings, this is called attachment to identity. The mind clings to an image of who it thinks it must be in order to deserve care. This image is fragile. It needs constant reinforcement. And every time it feels threatened, the body reacts. The Buddha did not ask people to stop caring about others. He asked them to see clearly where suffering begins. Suffering begins when love becomes something to earn. When the heart forgets its own steadiness and hands that responsibility to the world. You can feel the cost of this forgetting in your nights. The way sleep comes in short waves. The way dreams feel restless. The way you wake up tired even after hours in bed. The mind never truly shuts down because it is still guarding an image, still holding its breath, still listening for approval that may never arrive. This is not because you are doing something wrong. It is because the mind has been trying to survive. In a culture that values productivity, likability, and constant connection, the pressure to be acceptable is relentless. People learn early to adapt, to read the room, to smooth edges, to perform calm even when they feel unsteady inside. These skills help in the world, but they quietly exhaust the heart. The Buddha offered a different kind of safety, not one that depends on how you are seen, but one that grows from understanding. He taught that when the mind sees the pattern of clinging clearly, something softens. The grip loosens not by force but by insight. You begin to notice the moment the mind reaches outward, the instant it asks, "Do they approve?" And instead of following that question, you pause. In that pause, the body exhales a little deeper. The shoulders drop a fraction. The breath finds its way home. This is the beginning of rest. Not because you have solved the need for love, but because you are no longer asking the world to carry your heart for you. Love is still there. Care is still there. Connection still matters. But the weight shifts. The mind no longer has to perform in order to feel safe. It can begin to trust a quieter source of steadiness. Tonight, just noticing this pattern is enough. Noticing how the desire to be loved tightens the chest. Noticing how that tightness keeps the mind alert long after the day has ended. There is nothing to fix right now, nothing to prove. Simply allowing yourself to see with kindness why your mind feels tired. And in this, seeing something gentle begins to happen. The grip softens, the breath deepens, and the heart takes its first small step toward rest. As the grip softens and the breath deepens, something important becomes clear. The mind has been working so hard to find peace out there in approval, out there in reassurance, out there in being seen, understood, accepted. And yet even after all that effort, peace has remained just out of reach. Many people discover this truth in quiet, unremarkable moments. A promotion finally comes, and the relief lasts only a few days. A compliment lands warm at first, then quickly fades. A problem gets solved, and the mind immediately finds another one to worry about. It can feel confusing. You did everything you were told would bring peace. You worked harder. You tried to be better. You adjusted yourself again and again. Still, the heart doesn't settle. At night, when the world stops asking, the mind keeps searching. This is often the moment when a deeper question appears. What if peace was never meant to be found outside? What if the reason it keeps slipping away is because it does not live in circumstances or praise or perfect outcomes. In Buddhist teaching, there is a simple and radical understanding. Peace is not something you acquire. It is something you uncover. The Buddha observed that the mind suffers not because life is imperfect, but because the mind keeps reaching outward for stability. It leans on things that are constantly changing. Opinions shift. Situations evolve. People come and go. When the heart tries to rest on these moving surfaces, it never fully relaxes. Imagine setting a cup of water on a gently rocking table. Even the slightest movement sends ripples across the surface. But place that same cup on solid ground, and the water grows still on its own. Peace works the same way. When the mind rests on external conditions, it trembles. When it rests within itself, it settles. This is not a call to withdraw from life or stop caring. It is an invitation to change where you place your weight. Many people raised in a culture of achievement and responsibility learn early to look outward for cues. Am I doing enough? Am I falling behind? Do they approve? These questions shape the nervous system. They keep it alert, scanning, prepared. Over time, the body forgets what safety feels like without confirmation. The Buddha taught that true refuge is not found in success relationships or even certainty. It is found in awareness, awareness that notices without judging. Awareness that holds experience gently instead of gripping it. When awareness turns inward, something subtle shifts. You may feel it as a warmth in the chest, or a softening around the eyes, or a sense of space opening behind the thoughts. This is not excitement. It is not achievement. It is relief. Some people encounter this relief for the first time in very ordinary places. Sitting alone in a parked car before going inside. Standing at the kitchen sink, hands in warm water. Listening to a distant sound at night, steady and unhurried. In those moments, when no one is watching and nothing is required, the mind briefly lets go. The breath moves without effort. The shoulders drop. The body remembers itself. This is a glimpse of peace that does not depend on conditions. The Buddha pointed to this again and again. He said that peace comes from within, not because the world is wrong, but because the heart has the capacity to be steady, even as the world moves. This steadiness is not indifference. It is intimacy without attachment. You can care deeply and still rest. The problem arises when the mind believes peace must be earned through perfection. When it thinks, once everything is resolved, then I can relax. But life rarely offers that moment. There is always another task, another expectation, another version of yourself to maintain. So the invitation is gentle. Instead of waiting for peace to arrive from the outside, begin to notice what happens when you stop chasing it. Notice the breath as it is, not controlled, not corrected, just present. Notice the weight of your body where it meets the bed or the chair. Notice the way sounds arise and fade without effort. In Buddhist practice, this turning inward is not an escape. It is a return to the place where you do not need to prove anything. A return to a steadiness that has been there all along, waiting beneath the noise. Some people feel a quiet fear when they first stop reaching outward. Without constant striving, there can be a sense of emptiness. But this emptiness is not lack. It is space. Space where the heart can breathe. Space where the mind can rest. Space where you no longer have to hold yourself together so tightly. In this space, something surprising often happens. The desire for approval loosens its grip, not because you force it away, but because it no longer feels necessary. The body feels safer. The breath becomes fuller. The mind slows down on its own. This is the beginning of true refuge. Not a place you travel to, not a feeling you chase, but a way of being that grows as you learn to trust what is already here. The Buddha taught that when the mind stops leaning outward, it discovers a natural dignity, a sense of being at home, not because everything is perfect, but because nothing needs to be different in order for you to rest. Tonight, you are not being asked to change your life, only to notice where peace has been hiding. Right here, in the breath you did not have to earn, in the body that is already supporting you, in the awareness that can hold everything without strain. As you stay with this understanding very gently, you may begin to feel something familiar and forgotten. The feeling of being allowed to rest. As you begin to sense that quiet steadiness within a gentle question naturally arises. How do we return to this place when the mind feels crowded? What can we hold on to when thoughts start pulling us back into worry? For many people on this path, the answer arrives not as an idea, but as a sound. A simple name, soft, steady, reassuring. In Buddhist practice, the name of the Buddha is not used as a demand or a plea. It is used as a place to rest the mind. Imagine the way a child leans into a familiar voice in the dark. Not because the voice fixes everything, but because it signals safety. That is how the Buddha's name functions for the heart. When the mind has been racing all day, words feel heavy. Explanations feel tiring. But a single, gentle phrase can slip past the noise. Some people notice this late at night when the house has settled. The air feels still. The clock glows softly across the room. They whisper the name quietly, almost experimentally, not sure what to expect. Namo, Amitābha Buddha. The sound moves slowly, like a small boat across calm water. It does not rush. It does not demand attention. And something subtle begins to happen. The breath deepens without effort. The jaw loosens. The tightness in the chest eases just a little. This is not imagination. It is the body responding to steadiness. In Buddhist understanding, the mind cannot hold two strong objects at once. When it is filled with worry, it cannot be at peace. When it is gently anchored, it stops drifting. The Buddha's name becomes that anchor, not as a magical spell, not as blind belief, but as a steady point of focus that gathers the scattered mind. Think of how the mind behaves when it is anxious. It jumps, it scans, it prepares. Each thought pulls energy in a different direction. But when the mind is invited to rest on one simple sound, the movement slows. This is how concentration is born, naturally, without force. As the sound repeats, the mind begins to follow it, the way a tired body follows a slow rhythm. The shoulders soften. The breath becomes fuller. Thoughts lose their urgency. In this settling, a sense of refuge appears. Refuge does not mean hiding from life. It means knowing where to return when life feels overwhelming. The Buddha taught that true refuge is not found in control or certainty, but in a mind that knows how to rest. The name of Amitābha represents boundless light and compassion. When you say it even silently, you are reminding the heart of a larger presence, a presence that does not judge, that does not rush, that does not ask you to be different than you are. Some people feel this as warmth spreading across the chest. Others feel a gentle heaviness in the body, the kind that comes just before sleep. Some simply notice that the noise has turned down. There is no right way to experience it. The practice is not about achieving a feeling. It is about allowing the mind to settle where it can be held. You may notice thoughts still appearing. That is okay. The practice is not to chase them away. Each time you notice the mind drifting, you simply return to the sound. Namo Amitābha Buddha. Like a lighthouse in fog, the name does not move. The mind moves, then finds its way back. Over time, this returning builds trust. The nervous system learns that it does not have to stay alert all night. The body learns that it is safe to soften. This is why many people who struggle with sleep find relief here. Not because problems disappear, but because the mind no longer has to hold them alone. There is a quiet humility in this practice. You are not trying to solve your life at midnight. You are allowing yourself to be supported. In Buddhist teachings, this is an act of wisdom, not weakness. When the mind is exhausted, it needs simplicity. The name offers that simplicity. One sound, one breath, one moment at a time. Some people like to pair the name with the breath. As the breath flows in, the body receives. As the breath flows out, the name is gently released. There is no rush. You may notice the room feels softer. Sounds seem farther away. The edges of the day blur. This is the mind entering a state of ease. Not forced, not commanded, allowed. The Buddha understood the human condition deeply. He knew how easily the mind becomes scattered. He also knew how gently it can be gathered. This is why practices like this have been passed down for generations, not as rituals to impress anyone, but as tools for tired hearts. Tonight, you are not being asked to believe anything new, only to notice what happens when the mind is given a place to rest. If it helps you, can imagine the name as a soft light filling the space around you. Not bright, not blinding, just steady. Each repetition makes the light clearer. Each breath allows the body to sink a little deeper. You may feel your eyelids grow heavy. You may lose track of where one breath ends and the next begins. That is not failure. That is the mind letting go. The name has done its work. It has given the heart something kind to hold. And as you stay with it, even briefly, you may discover something important. You are not alone in the dark. There is a refuge available, simple and close whenever you need it. A place where the mind can rest. A place where the heart does not have to strive. Just a name, just a breath, just enough to carry you gently towards sleep. As the name fades into the rhythm of your breath, a softer layer of the night begins to reveal itself. This is often the moment when something deeper rises. Not noise, not urgency, but memory. A scene from earlier in the day. A sentence you wish you had said differently. A tone you regret. A decision that still feels unfinished. The body remains still, but the mind turns inward and begins its quiet accounting. Should have known better. Should have tried harder. Should have been more patient, more loving, more composed. This is where many people unknowingly punish themselves, not with harsh words spoken out loud, but with tightness in the chest, with a breath that stops halfway down, with a sense of unworthiness that lingers in the dark. The room is quiet, yet the heart feels watched, as if it must stand trial before sleep is allowed. In Buddhist understanding, this inner pressure has a name. It is not conscience. It is not wisdom. It is self-punishment born from misunderstanding. The mind confuses awareness with blame. It believes that by replaying mistakes, it is being responsible. But responsibility does not require cruelty. You may notice how this inner punishment shows itself physically. The shoulders stay lifted even as you lie down. The brow remains furrowed. The stomach holds a faint ache. The body is asking for rest, but the mind insists on judgment. The Buddha taught that this kind of suffering does not purify the heart. It hardens it. True clarity does not come from pressing on a wound. It comes from allowing it to breathe. Many people are surprised by how gentle Buddhist repentance truly is. It is not about condemning yourself. It is not about listing failures. It begins with a simple recognition. I see what caused harm. I see where I was confused. I see where I was afraid. There is no need to add shame. Shame closes the heart. Understanding opens it. Imagine sitting by a quiet lake at night. The water is dark, but still. You drop a small stone into it. The ripples move outward, then fade. Repentance in this tradition is like that. You acknowledge the ripple. Then you allow the water to return to stillness. You do not keep throwing stones. Yet many people do exactly that to themselves. They replay the same moment again and again. Each replay, another stone, another ripple. The lake never settles. Tonight, you are being invited to stop, to recognize that awareness does not require punishment. In fact, punishment prevents learning. When the heart feels threatened, it closes. When it feels safe, it understands. The Buddha spoke often about compassion beginning inward, not as indulgence, but as clarity. He taught that every unskillful action arises from confusion or pain, not from an evil heart. When you see this clearly, the tone inside begins to change. You may notice your jaw unclenching, your tongue resting more gently in your mouth, the breath finding a deeper path. This is not avoidance. It is honesty without violence. Some people experience this shift as a quiet relief, as if a weight they did not know they were holding has finally been set down. Others feel emotion rise unexpectedly, tears at the corners of the eyes, a warmth spreading through the chest. This is the nervous system releasing what it no longer needs to guard. In American culture, many people are taught to hold themselves accountable through pressure. Push harder. Be better. Don't make excuses. These messages are not entirely wrong. But when they follow you into the night, they become harmful. Night is not for improvement. It is for repair. The Buddha understood the rhythm of the human heart. He knew there is a time to reflect and a time to rest. Confusing these two creates exhaustion. Tonight is for rest. You can acknowledge the day without reliving it. If it helps you, can place a hand gently over your heart or your abdomen. Feel the warmth beneath your palm. Let the breath move naturally, and silently you may offer yourself a simple phrase. Whatever I did today, I see it now. Whatever I could not do, I release it for tonight. There is no need to perfect the words. The intention is enough. In this moment, you are not erasing responsibility. You are postponing judgment. You are giving the heart space to heal so that understanding can arise naturally. The Buddha taught that a mind at peace sees more clearly than a mind under attack. When you stop punishing yourself, wisdom becomes possible. You may notice how the body responds to this permission. The legs feel heavier. The arms rest more fully against the bed. The breath slows as if it no longer needs to prove anything. This is not weakness. This is trust. Trust that you do not have to solve your life at midnight. Trust that clarity will return when the body is rested. Trust that you are allowed to be human. Some people worry that if they stop judging themselves, they will stop caring. But the opposite is true. Harshness numbs. Gentleness awakens. When the heart feels safe, it learns. The Buddha did not teach liberation through punishment. He taught liberation through understanding, through seeing suffering clearly and responding with compassion. Tonight, that compassion is directed inward. You are not excusing harm. You are refusing to add more. As you rest here, you may notice the space around you feels different, quieter, softer. The day begins to loosen its grip. Thoughts slow, as if they too are ready to sleep. This is the gift of not punishing yourself. It allows the mind to lay down its armor, to become tender without fear, to trust that rest is not something you must earn. It is something you are allowed. And in this allowance, something precious happens. The heart settles, the breath deepens, and the night finally opens its arms. As the armor softens and the heart finally feels allowed to rest, a quiet fullness begins to appear. It does not announce itself. It arrives like warmth spreading through the body after a long, cold day. Subtle, steady. Enough. You may notice it in the way your breath now moves more freely, in the way your hands rest without tension, in the stillness behind your thoughts where nothing is being argued or defended. This is peace taking shape, not the kind that erases life's difficulties, but the kind that steadies you within them. In Buddhist teaching, peace is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to be shared, not through effort, but through intention. When the heart touches calm, even briefly, it creates a gentle surplus. And that surplus naturally wishes to flow outward. This is where dedication begins. Dedication is not a ritual reserved for temples or special occasions. It is a quiet turning of the heart, a remembering that your well-being does not exist in isolation. As you rest here, you might picture someone you care about, a parent whose body is growing tired, a child who carries worries they cannot name, a partner, a friend, a neighbor facing struggles you may never fully see. You don't need to imagine their problems. Simply notice how your chest responds when you hold them gently in mind. Often, it softens further. In Buddhist understanding, when the heart is calm, it naturally inclines toward kindness. This kindness is not forced. It is not dramatic. It is a quiet wish. May you be at ease. May you be safe. May you rest tonight. These wishes do not require belief to be effective. They shape the heart of the one who offers them. As you extend peace outward, you may notice that it does not diminish. It deepens. This is one of the Buddha's most beautiful teachings. When peace is shared, it multiplies. You can feel this in the body. The breath grows smoother. The muscles release more fully. The sense of separation softens. Even the room may feel different, as if the air itself has settled. Some people choose to begin with gratitude, not a long list, just a simple acknowledgement. Grateful for the body that carried you through the day. Grateful for the breath that continues without asking. Grateful for the chance to rest, even briefly. Gratitude grounds peace. Others prefer to begin with remembrance. They think of those who came before them. Parents, grandparents, teachers, people whose efforts made this moment possible. In many Buddhist homes, this remembrance is felt deeply, not as obligation, but as connection. The heart bows inward quietly. Whatever peace has arisen tonight, you can allow it to touch them, not as a burden, as a gift. In Buddhist teaching, this act of sharing is called dedication. It is the understanding that wholesome states of mind can be offered for the benefit of all beings. This offering does not require perfection. It only requires sincerity. You may notice a feeling of warmth spreading from the center of your chest outward, like ripples moving gently across water. This warmth is not excitement. It is contentment. It carries no urgency. As peace is shared, something else becomes clear. You are part of a larger field of care. Your rest matters. Your calm contributes. When one heart steadies, it subtly influences the hearts around it, not through words, through presence. In a world that often feels fragmented and tense, this matters more than we realize. The Buddha taught that inner peace is not an escape from responsibility. It is the foundation of wise action. When the heart is calm, kindness flows more easily. When the mind is settled, clarity arises naturally. Tonight, you are practicing this foundation, not by doing more, but by allowing yourself to rest fully. As you remain here, you might gently include yourself in this sharing. Sometimes, people forget to do this. They wish peace for everyone else while withholding it from themselves. You can notice what happens when you include your own name in this circle of care. May I be at ease. May I rest without fear. May I wake renewed. There is no arrogance in this. The Buddha taught that caring for yourself is part of caring for the world. A heart that is depleted cannot give freely. A heart that is nourished naturally shares. This understanding carries great relief. You do not have to sacrifice yourself to be kind. You do not have to exhaust yourself to be worthy. Peace shared from fullness is the most generous offering. As the night deepens, thoughts may slow further. Images may soften at the edges. The body may feel heavier, as if gently settling into the bed. This is the nervous system recognizing safety. You may no longer feel the need to guide the practice consciously. That is fine. Peace does not require supervision. It knows how to rest. If it feels right, you can let the wishes continue quietly in the background, like a soft hum, or you can simply rest in the feeling that remains. Both are enough. In Buddhist teaching, dedication completes the practice. It closes the circle gently, not with effort, but with trust. Trust that what has been touched tonight will carry forward. Trust that rest is not lost when you sleep. Trust that peace once known leaves an imprint. As you drift towards sleep, you may sense a quiet confidence. Not the confidence of achievement, the confidence of being held by breath, held by awareness, held by a kindness larger than any single moment. This is how peace stays with you, not by clinging to it, but by allowing it to move through you. As the night continues, there is nothing more you need to do. The heart has been steadied. The offering has been made. You can rest now knowing that this simple act of calm has meaning for you and for all those you carry in your heart. Let the night take care of the rest, and as the night holds you more fully, there is a simple truth that settles in without effort. Nothing is being asked of you anymore. The body lies heavy and supported. The breath moves on its own, slow and unforced. Thoughts drift like clouds thinning at the edge of the sky. You may notice a softness across your face. The muscles around the eyes loosen. The corners of the mouth relax, almost into a smile. This is what it feels like when the mind no longer needs to stand guard. Tonight, you have seen something important. Peace does not arrive when everything is resolved. It arrives when the heart stops demanding resolution before rest. The Buddha taught that suffering continues when the mind insists on control. Relief begins when the mind learns trust. Trust in the breath. Trust in awareness. Trust in the natural intelligence of rest. You do not have to carry the world into sleep. The day has already passed. Tomorrow has not yet arrived. Right now, there is only this moment. In this moment, you are allowed to stop trying. If worries appear, notice how gently they come and go. They no longer feel sharp. They no longer demand answers. They pass like distant traffic sounds fading into the background. The heart understands something now. It understands that love does not need to be earned through exhaustion. That worth is not measured by how much you carry. That being human includes the right to rest. This understanding does not come from effort. It comes from letting go. The Buddha spoke of liberation not as an achievement, but as a release. A release from clinging. A release from self-judgment. A release from the belief that peace must be deserved. Tonight, you have practiced that release. You noticed the mind reaching outward and you gently brought it home. You gave the heart a refuge that did not depend on approval. You allowed kindness to replace punishment. You shared peace without losing it. This is the path in its simplest form. Not complicated, not dramatic, just honest and kind. As sleep draws closer, you may feel the edges of awareness soften. Sounds become farther away. The body sinks a little deeper into the bed. There is nothing left to manage. If it feels right, you can quietly return to the Buddha's name, letting it fade naturally with each breath. Or you can rest in silence, allowing the night to carry you. Both are complete. In Buddhist understanding, rest itself is a form of wisdom. It restores clarity, It nourishes compassion. It prepares the mind to meet the next day with steadiness. You are not giving up by resting. You are returning to balance. If you think of tomorrow at all, let it appear gently, not as a list of demands, but as an open space. Whatever arises then will be met more clearly because you chose rest now. This is how peace grows, not all at once, but night by night, moment by moment. If these teachings have brought even a small sense of ease, you can let that be enough. There is no need to analyze or hold on to it. Peace does not ask to be remembered. It asks to be trusted. And if you wish, you may carry this practice into future nights, returning whenever the mind feels crowded, offering the heart the same permission to rest. Sharing these teachings with others can also be a quiet act of kindness, a way of letting peace move beyond you. But for now, there is nothing more to do. The night is here. The body is ready. The mind has been given permission to sleep. May your rest be deep. May your heart feel safe. May you wake with a little more light than you carried yesterday. Tonight you are allowed to rest. Let go, and let the night take care of you.